Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. For this episode, we met up with Ben Cornfield of Crieve Bagel Company and learned about how he started his business at home during the pandemic. We hope you enjoy.
Reload actually was going to hire me, and they were going to take all the recruiting in-house, and I was going to be there, lead the in-house recruiting.
Yeah.
And then it was February of 2020, and I was supposed to go to Charlotte to meet the team and everything in March 2020, and then it pushed to April 2020, and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
So that summer I was at home, and I was like, this is so hard, I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And we only had 2 kids at the time, so it wasn't even that bad.
What made you do bagels and pastries and things like this?
It was desperation meets curiosity meets independence meets fun, I guess. So I was interviewing for sales jobs, and by that time it was I'd taken the summer off to be with the kids and loved it, was challenged. The money my wife was making wasn't quite gonna get us anywhere type of thing. So it was I kind of needed to go find something at least part-time. We're gonna figure out childcare. And so I'm interviewing for sales jobs, and it's I'd done this a million times. I talked to the same type of individual at a million different spots, and it's I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it, man. I just don't want to do it. This is pandemic times. If there's ever time to change, do something incredible or insane, this is literally it, right? And I'd already done a lot of crazy stuff. After college, I went to teach English in Korea.
That is awesome.
And then, I lived overseas for 3 years.
That's cool.
And Lizzie and my wife, we actually met in Saipan, which is near Guam.
That's pretty cool.
That is
super
a cool
cool.
story.
Working on a resort. So it was Korea, and then Europe and Africa for a few months of backpacking, and then went to Saipan, lived on a resort, and you do windsurfing and little snorkel tours with the guests and stuff, and it's really fun. And then after that, I went to India, lived in an ashram, and did yoga teacher training. So I was a yoga teacher for a long time. So
oh, cool.
I'd never been a very career-oriented person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So this individual who wears suits and travels the country and talks to, high-level IT teams about their implementations. Yes, that was what I needed to do, and yes, it gave me a good cushion and helped us buy a house. And I'll always be super, super, super grateful for that. And especially this one mentor specifically, whose name is Sam, who is just a really good friend of mine now, and he hired me originally when my wife and I were living in Jacksonville, where she's from, and he's the one who moved me to Nashville in the first place. So super grateful to him, super grateful for all the sales training. Like I said, made good money, but it was I was never a career-oriented type of individual, even though I was getting an MBA at Vanderbilt, and I was working in these high-level sales jobs. It was just never really me. So it was kind of easy for me to say look, I'm happy to try something new.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, an executive vice president of operations, right? It wasn't I never saw myself as one individual tracked person.
Yeah.
I always saw myself as someone who was very curious, who was going to do this for a little while, then do that for a little while, then do that for a little while, and then do that for a little while, and always kind of shift and learn and change. I had a really hard time pinning myself down.
Yeah.
Even this being this whole big amazing thing that I've my wife and I have built, and now we have this beautiful space, and everyone comes and supports, and it's community minded. I love it so much. I'm already trying to figure out what's next
what's
here,
next?
right? What's going to be happening next. So that's sort of been the really cool thing about this. So it was pretty desperate at that point in the fall, trying to find something to do that would make a little bit of money, but also we didn't really have childcare because it was still the pandemic, right? You can't really have a babysitter type of thing. These bagels, they're pretty good. My family loves them. I wonder if someone would buy them, right? So I posted on Nextdoor if anyone was interested in sourdough bagels, and that one post got a zillion.
And now you're here.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That was perfect for the pandemic when no one wanted to leave.
No one wanted to leave their house.
Yeah.
So I was waking up at 1 a.m, and I was baking until 6 or 7, and then driving around and dropping off people's doorsteps, which was a perfectly normal thing to be doing.
Yeah.
With the pandemic, dropping food off or whatever. So and then I was going home and watching the kids all day, right? And then my wife was working in another room, doing Zoom meetings and stuff, right? And that was a perfect thing, a perfect setup for what we needed at the time, right? And obviously it starts to get a little unsustainable when it's I need a nap like
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
You know, and she's tired from working all day, and the kids like haven't been outside all day, and it's so like, luckily after like a few months, we were able to like get a babysitter, and like this college kid was our first employee. He was our delivery driver. So at 7 a.m., he would come pick up the bagels and then drop them off around the neighborhood for like a few months.
So you could get some,
so I could get some
rest.
sleep. Yeah, I'd sleep
Yeah.
for like 2 hours, and then it just like every step of the way was like this really difficult, stressful, risk-filled moment. Like once a month, it would come to us, and we'd have to make a decision whether to like back off of it or like move forward in like a deeper fashion, right?
Yeah.
Like buy a new piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Like at one point, it was like spending $300 to buy a new KitchenAid mixer was like a very big deal, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, you know, the finances, the bank loans are like way bigger, like architects and contractors and all kinds of vendors and everything. But it's like, it was like this slow brick by brick decision-making process. Like, are we going to take another risk? Yes, I guess so. Like, okay, like people keep buying these bagels. I guess we'll just keep taking risks. So
Even
like,
something as casual as our podcast, there's like the moment of like, okay, we need another microphone and a pair of headphones. Like
Yeah,
that's
man.
like $200 to $300. Are we cool with spending like $200 to $300 on another microphone? Are we?
Yeah.
Are we? Do
Are
we
we
take
done
this
now? Are we
that
done
seriously?
here? Like, we good,
I
or-
guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, do we just keep talking forever? Or do we go out into the world and interview
I don't know.
bagel guys? Like, how
Apparently
does
we
that-
do. At least
Yeah,
today we
apparently,
got.
today's that day, bro.
On Sunday, we interviewed Brandon from
Nashville
the
Restaurant
Nashville
Radio.
Restaurants Radio.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work on that.
He reached out to us and was like, "Hey, I do a podcast and I'm a dad. Do you want to come talk?" And we're like,
That's
"Yeah, sure."
awesome.
He's
So,
got a pretty cool
Nice.
setup as well.
He does. He
man.
has like a real studio.
Right. He's been
It's
doing
like
it for more than a minute here.
Joe Rogan-esque type studio
Yeah, it
where
is,
he's
isn't it?
got
Yeah.
the TVs going and everything. We're
Yeah.
like, all
That's
right, man, we need to up our game.
Yeah,
on
man. Well, that's the other scary part, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
always someone doing the next
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I get there? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no idea. Man,
got-
especially with kids, right? It's like, how do you balance it all? Like, how do you go from one to the other and like get your code switching done? And like,
Yeah.
when is it like, okay, I need to like spend money on the microphones, or like spend money on like the groceries?
Yeah.
And like, it just gets really
It does.
complicated.
It does.
Yeah, for me, it was the biggest shock mentally for me when Ada was born.
Mm-hmm.
The whole shift in the culture, shift in every aspect of my life. I was in shock. So I have no idea how you were, and I had this job for 10 years, so like I did have that cushion.
Yeah, man.
I have no idea how you handled that uncertainty that
Yeah.
you had with kids.
Well,
That's some strength right there, man.
I don't know if strength is definitely not the right word.
Oh, okay.
I would, that's let's get that clear right away.
Focus,
Oh
panic.
man, like I don't know. Like desperation is the word I continue to use to like describe what's been happening for the last like 2-3 years, because that like really is what it is. But it's like there's a lot to it, right? I mean, like you want your kids to just like see you as like this whole big thing, right? Like
Yep.
at least I do. I want them to like I want them to be like 15 years old. You know, right now they're 6.5. My son's 6.5. My daughter just turned 4 today, which is super exciting.
Happy
And
Happy
then
birthday.
The 6-month-old, yeah, she's the best. And then the 6-month-old, and I want them one day to be 15 years old and be like struggling with like algebra, right? And them to just be like, okay, like my dad like was white knuckling it like my whole childhood, and like he did it, and now like I can do this algebra. Like I
Yeah.
can do this algebra.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to be able to like be like, yeah, like I have walked this walk, and I know you can too, right? I know
Yeah.
you can. And
That's
like
great.
that is like a huge motivator for me every single day. And like the good thing about this business is like the money comes in and goes out every day. The bagels get made every single day, so it's very like a lot of it can be like very zen, like very C-ball hit ball.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's 3:30 in the morning, you get in, you're so tired, you literally like can't talk or think, you just roll bagel dough, right? So it's like it's really straightforward in those hours. Like the team comes in, the bagels get made, 6:30 the doors open, and like there are tickets for pre-orders that have to get bagged, there's wholesale orders that have to get bagged, there's catering orders that have to get bagged, there's folks walking up and getting their coffee and bagels and heading out to their jobs. So it's like you can start taking a breath. Like every day you take that breath, like, okay, like today we're going to make a little bit of money. That's great. And it's like then you feel comfortable making the investments, even though you have you're worried about the kids, college tuition, or you're worried about, making sure that they have presents for their birthdays, like today, right? It's like, like I said, it gets really complicated. It gets really stressful. I'm not going to like undersell it. Like, yeah, it has been so stressful. Like every month, like I said, like my wife and I are sitting down having like really difficult conversations. But it's just like someone has got to do it. Mm-hmm. People do it, right? People make businesses all the time. People start business all the time. People succeed at business all the time. Like, why can't we just be people that succeed at a business? Like, why can't we? Other people do it. Yeah. Why can't we do it?
Yeah.
We just keep saying that to ourselves until it happens. I don't know.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's funny because like we always do this where we sit down and we start talking and then we get comfortable and then I'm like, I didn't do any form of an intro. I didn't say welcome to the Nashville. Like we're
welcome
still working on our
Nashville
professionalism. Yeah. So here we are.
It was like what's like a cold intro or whatever, like in this TV show.
Yeah, it's cold intro. No, yeah, it's very much like
show the title,
The
and then just keeps
Office
going.
And Community. All those they start with the cold open.
That's us today.
There's your cold open. But now we
Nice.
have to. If it's really a cold open, we have to do something completely different and maybe reference what we talked about before.
Swing back to
slightly
it at the end of the
very
episode,
end
like
of
a
the
nice joke to
conversation.
tie it all together.
If my script writing knowledge is correct, I think that's how it
Cool,
flows.
man. All right, we have a plan now.
We have a plan,
Yes.
finally. We're
We'll
also
end
not the best
show
with planning. So.
with something we've been talking about now.
That's
You
right.
shoot from the hip every time.
Yes. But here we are. We're sitting in Cornfield Bagel Company, sitting at the big wooden table. You've only got one, so it is the big
this
wooden
is the
table.
big wooden table specifically.
So
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
letting us
coming,
come in.
man. This is great.
We just wanted to talk to you about being a dad, about your experience of being a dad, and I think you're doing something pretty cool here
Thanks.
at the bagel shop. I know it's something you started in your kitchen,
Yes.
which as a stay-at-home dad, I feel like I've had that thought in my head multiple times. Like, should I start something with food out of my kitchen while I sit here with kids? Apparently, no. It's very stressful.
It's
Yeah.
intense, man.
Well, you do make some amazing cookies
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and muffin tops and everything.
Do
Whenever we have our neighborhood cookouts, I am always looking forward to the stuff that he ends up
Well,
cooking.
get it going, man.
I know.
Get it going, dog.
What did I do at the last one? I did scones. I did like pumpkin scones at the
Yeah.
last
Brandy
one.
makes scones.
Does
Got
she?
Scones right over there.
It's
Great.
an Indiana thing, apparently.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just if you're from Indiana, you have to make scones.
got
So I'm from
it.
Indiana.
That makes sense.
just
I didn't
gotta do
ask her why it was such a thing that she's making all these
it's
scones.
not. I'm just saying.
That's awesome. She's blasting out like thousands of scones. Over
Seriously?
Here. Little did I know, it's just like an Indiana thing.
It's just a thing.
Yeah.
If you're a Hoosier, you make scones.
Make
It's just
scones for
how
all
it
those
works out.
basketball games.
So,
Nice.
Well, for me,
yeah.
so how did you transition from bagels to all these other pastries? Did you just like wanted to expand from more than just bagels?
Yeah, great question. So from a business standpoint, it made sense. So like bagels occupy a really interesting sort of space in the psyche of the globe, in the psyche of like humanity. I like had no idea, right? But you start figuring this stuff out as you go, right? Like it's not a donut, it's not a treat, right? So it's like people are comfortable buying 6 of them or 12 of them or coming and buying one once or twice a week, nothing in the world. Whereas like a donut is maybe like a Sunday thing, for example, or Friday where you bring it to the office type of thing. It's not really an everyday thing. It's not a meal. It's not a breakfast, right? And a bagel is also not a big loaf of bread. So from a price point standpoint, it's not $10, $12, $15. Whereas if you buy a sourdough loaf, that's sort of what you're buying. You're committing. It's like a week of bread. It's like a one-time little thing. So it's like really great being able to offer phenomenal bagels every day because it's like a daily type of item, right? Whereas I was worried at first when we were first opening, it was just like I had no idea what I was doing, right? So it was just like just get bagels out the to-go windows because this space was ugly. It was like a catering company before this. The demolition, the work done on this took forever. So just that to-go window over there was all we had. So people were waiting outside.
That's what Devin was
for
saying.
a year and a half.
Yep.
Even in the winter, we had like heat lamps out there. It
I
was
waited in the rain once or
chaos.
twice
Like,
for something.
rain, so it was like just a ridiculous situation.
One morning.
Man.
This is the first time I've been here, so
sweet.
I've heard a lot about you. I just
nice.
never
Mostly
made
from
it.
me. So.
Oh, I appreciate that, Devin. No, it's like it's great, right? This is all like a ton of just like painstaking work, right?
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. We just opened. I had never done anything in food service. I had like a waiter job in college. So like, didn't have enough employees. Didn't know how to scale the recipes. Didn't really know how to do anything. So it was just like get the bagels as good as possible. Make I thought making 300 was a lot. We sold out of 300 bagels in like an hour.
Are you serious?
And then the next day it was like 500, 600, 700, 800. Now we can blast to like 1,500 bagels and like no problem, right?
Oh, man.
So
do
it's
you
like
get
super good.
Because you do catering also, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much do people are like, hey, if you did catering, I would buy your bagels. And you're like, I'll figure it out.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of what happened with the pastries. To answer your question, so like at first I was like, we just got to figure out bagels. And then we figured out bagels. And then we had we were buying local donuts from some folks that I think they're taking a hiatus right now.
Oh, are
Don't know
they?
what they're doing.
They're good donuts.
Yeah, great donuts.
Yeah.
Shout them out, Connie and Johnny. They're great.
Yep.
And people really like them, but they're just a weekend thing. And I talked to Connie and Johnny about it, and they were just like, yeah, like that's when people buy our donuts. They don't really buy them during the week. So that was sort of like the impetus. And then, we sell Pink Door cookies here. We sell other cookies called Butterfly Bakehouse as well. She's like a local baker. And sort of same thing, a lot of those get bought during the weekend, and they weren't really getting bought during the week. And so I started thinking, well, they're not really cannibalizing our bagel sales. Like, people are still buying the bagels. They're not, like, choosing one over the other. They're getting both, mostly on the weekends. So it's like, if it's something we could figure out and bring that in-house, it's always more cost-effective to do something yourself.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I knew we could do some really, really, really delicious stuff. And from, like, that curiosity experimentation standpoint, like, when you run your own business, it's like, man, I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, I can literally do whatever I want. It's like a really weird
But
concept.
then you're responsible for whatever you
Exactly,
do.
then you're responsible for it. So, like, that whole thing where it's like you're the boss, but no, like, really the employees are the boss is true, right? Or like, really you have all this freedom, but really you're here all the time.
Yeah.
That's true, right? So it's like a lot of it is like I've keeping back to like extremely stressful. But some of it's like super awesome too, right? Like, whatever we want to do, we just figure it out, right? It's like, we've thrown a lot of stuff at the wall that hasn't worked. Yeah. But we started with cinnamon rolls, and people absolutely loved it. And then we had to pull back on it because we couldn't do it right. And then we did it again, and we had to pull back on it. We went through like 3 or 4 iterations before we finally like got it the way we want it, got it to scale, get it done every day. And it's still not even out of the oven. It's like 9:30 in the morning, so it's still like a very late sort of thing. But like, it's brought us new customers.
Well, I saw the process and how delicious they already looked.
They're so good, and they're gonna like fill those whole pans and be huge and
cool.
fluffy, and like they're so cool. And like, it's just, and then it just became a thing where it's like, I'm here. What am I here for? Like, I'm here for the community. I'm here for the community. What does the community want? Like, treats, bro. Like, they want some freaking treats. Like, all right, we'll give them treats, man. We'll give them treats. I want treats. Everyone loves treats. So it's like, it just became this thing where, like, from a business standpoint, it was smart. It wasn't cannibalizing sales. It's a way to make a little more money. From a curiosity standpoint, it's great to be able to just try something new, have some fun. Like, we've had the same team in here for like a year and a half. Like, a lot of the same employees the whole time is like something I really hang my hat on. But like, you don't want them just rolling the same dough over and over again until they fall over. So it's like, what can we do to like really stretch ourselves from a skill standpoint? So there's like always like more bagels. Right? It gets to the point where it's like, we have enough bagels today. We're not going to sell out today, right? Maybe we'll have a busy day here and there, but like, we have enough. We're good. We have time. We don't just want to deep clean over and over again. We want to like do some more fun things. Like, okay, we'll figure out a new baked good. We'll add catering. We'll add shipping, right? We just started that. Like, we got some other cool things coming up soon too. Like some things in the evenings that we're trying to figure out to like utilize this beautiful space. Which will be really fun coming up soon. So it's like, there's always sort of what's next.
Yeah, you're never going to stop, man.
No, I know. No, that's sort of the best part. So it's like, that sort of answers your question. Pastries were like a really good way to check a lot of boxes, like for me personally and from like a business standpoint.
Nice. Do you consider yourself like a creative person or more business mindset?
Creative.
Okay, cool.
Creative. So like, I have this MBA, and that's cool, right? Like, my dad was like, "Oh, great! Like, you're finally using your MBA," and I was like, "I'm really kind of not. I mostly just bake. I mostly just like roll out bagel dough." So Lizzie actually so when we first started, Lizzie was, so I pulled out my phone, I like downloaded Nextdoor, I didn't even have it, and I just hit anyone interested in sourdough bagels, put my phone away, didn't think of anything. It was like that one little spur of weird, you can't really explain why you do it type of thing. And then all these pings start coming in, and Lizzie was like, "Did you just start a business like literally without me?" And I was like, the kids are asleep. It's like 8 or 9 p.m. And I'm like, I'm like, really sorry. She's like, "Well, how are you taking orders?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just having people DM me, and then I'm going to sort it out like in the morning." And she's like, that's like not good enough, man.
She's like, didn't you just finish business?
Yeah, like, shouldn't you like literally have this figured out? And I was like, I don't have it figured out.
That's
so
awesome.
she put up like a quick and dirty Google form.
Yeah.
And then we were like getting Venmo requests and stuff, and it was like real haphazard. She really sort of locked a lot of that stuff in. We bought label stickers, and we were printing out labels with people's orders on them, and then doing that the night before while I was making the dough. Literally, I was like getting water from like my fridge, right, for like my bagel doughs. Like, or I'd be like, oh, I'm out of poppy seeds. I'd like run to Publix real quick and get like a little tiny thing of poppy seeds, right? And then you kind of learn and grow. Like, I talked to Yogi, this pizza guy in the same mall as me over here.
Yeah.
I just like asked him for advice like several times, and he was like been a huge mentor. It was like, oh, you need a tax exempt form. Do you have your LLC? Yes. Oh, cool. Do you have the tax exempt? No. What's that? Where do you go get that? Business license? You have that? No. Have you talked to the city? No. Like, and then yeah, man. Lizzie was really the big one, and then talking to Yogi really helped too to get it a little more professionalized and standardized. And then once we were in this space, it took like 6 months to get the permit and just get the to-go window going.
Okay.
And then sort of the same problem started creeping up, where I was like ready to like go, but like there were a lot of like sort of I's that needed to be dotted and T's that needed to be crossed.
Mm-hmm. Is your wife better at that than you are?
Very much so. Very much so.
Is this kind of, I always think of this more as your thing. Is your wife pretty involved with helping out with everything?
Oh yeah, she
Awesome.
just would hate for me to tell you that.
Oh, okay. So she's the
She's
secret
like,
one who's like,
very, very, very behind the scenes.
That's great.
Oh man, she. I feel like every time she feels like she's gotten herself out, she like gets sucked back in, right? So, so she, she's like I said, she has her master's degree also from Vandy. She went to Peabody, and so she's all special education. So she works at my kid's school as like an admin.
Yeah.
And she like kind of still has to do like an hour or two of work like pretty much every night. She runs payroll, she does all the business taxes, does the bookkeeping, and actually we just started offering healthcare to our employees here.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so she's the one who got that set up too.
That's
which
huge.
Is great.
Man,
That was like a big lift, like really important thing for us to do.
It is.
For them.
that's really unheard of for a small like local.
Yeah, I mean it's it's not cheap.
Yeah,
It's like super not cheap.
But it does communicate that you do care about the people who work for you.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you do want to take care of them as
like-
best as you can.
It's like super, super intentional. Like the only thing I care about here is like being a super positive place.
Yeah.
Like that is not just about like having really pretty chairs, right? Like it's about having really happy people, even if they're working super hard at really, really, really weird times, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're asking folks to come in an ice storm at 3:30 in the morning, and they do.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me to have that type of individual who I know can show up and I know I can trust, like I'm always trying to be like, what can I do for you? Like what skill do you need? What sort of department do you want to run? Like, and what type of benefits you guys all looking for? It's probably like the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like
if you invest
awesome team.
in your employees, then you have no worries. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, and lucky for Lizzie because, like, literally, I mean, she's working full time. She comes home, it's like 3 p.m. She's got my son with her. I'm home so at noon, I'm home with June, our baby, and then my wife and our 4-year-old come home because my 4-year-old does like a half day.
Yeah.
And we have lunch together, and then my wife goes back to work. So I'm with the 2 girls from like 12:30 to like 3:30.
Yeah.
And she comes home with our son, and then we're all together from like 3:30 to 7:30. And then, we put the 3 kids down. I'm like dishes, laundry, clean the house, and she's like computer.
Yeah.
So it's like for her to have that level of like dedication and attention to detail at like 9 p.m. after a whole day is like insane.
For something that you also forced on here. Like, by the way, we have a bagel business now. Sorry.
Yeah. Literally, that's how it went. I was like, oh, this is my bad, bro.
My bad.
Super my bad.
You still like me, right?
Yeah.
That
Oh
would be
my
cool.
gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna need you to do this. Man, so your kids, while all this is happening, like,
Yeah, they're just
were
growing
they
up.
just looking at you guys like, what is going on?
What do you guys
Kind of. So my son is like extremely entrepreneurial as it is. Like we play this ocean version of Monopoly all the time. He like loves sea creatures and money are like his two favorite things. So like Oceanopoly, it's called. We play it all the time. So he's like really good with money now, and he like really is interested in it, which has been very cool. So like,
and he's 6, right?
Yeah, 6.5. He'll be 7 in May. So like, this is 2 years ago. He's like 4.5 years old, and you know like so I'm like it. Okay, picture like your home kitchen. It's a Crieve Hall house, so it's like these little ranch homes, right?
Yeah.
So our kid's bedroom is like literally 15 feet from the kitchen. And it's like 1 and 2 in the morning, and I got this little kitchen light on, and I'm flipping the bagels in my little pot, like 4 bagels at a time. Yeah. And I've got like this whole setup, because the kitchen island has like 48 bagels on it. This one part of like the back kitchen part has like another 48 bagels, other part is another 48 bagels on like different stages of the process.
Yes.
And then I've got the dining room table filled with bags, like getting all the baked bagels bagged up, and the cooling racks on there and stuff. So it's like the whole house like being used at that point, like a very strange hour of the day. And like 2 or 3 times it would happen, my son would wake up and be like, I'm awake, I want to help. And I'd be like, absolutely not, go back to sleep. And this one time he like steadfastly refused, and he helped me all morning. Like, and then before he went to school, he like baked bagels with me all morning.
That is
so cool. He loves it. I brought my daughter here today because she loves the scones. Like, grab a bag of scones after her birthday scones or whatever. It's like they like understand that we have this business. They understand that like people in the community like know about it as well. You know, they know that it's like sort of like an unconventional sort of setup.
Yeah.
But obviously they don't necessarily know all of it, right?
Yeah. But they know their dad is famous.
Yeah, that's right.
They know I know a lot of people. Like everywhere I go, like I'm like talking to someone, they're like, "Oh, Daddy, you know lots of people." I'm like, "Yep." Yeah. So like that's really been fun. That's fun.
Cool.
Do you think I never think it's cute whenever a kid helps make a recipe? Like my wife is always like, "Have the kids help you," and I'm like, but I'm hungry.
What if they just like go to a puzzle and I just do this myself?
Can they just do a puzzle? Like,
nice.
Yes, I should include our children in what I'm doing. But like, I just kind of want to eat dinner within the next 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Not the next 40
I
minutes.
don't want like cheese everywhere, man.
My 4, or she's now 5, is really like, she hears like the mixer downstairs and she's like, I want to help. So I've found ways to let her help in which I don't get frustrated with the fact that she's helping. So, because I'm like, this is better than you just doing it yourself. Be inclusive, Devin.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just give her a button to push, man.
But like, you're doing an actual business. I'm just like making brownies or pumpkin cookies. So like, it's very like, if it messes up, I'm like, Devin, you're fine. Just make another batch. You'll be good.
Find a farmer's market, man. There are plenty that'll let you do it from your house. They just, gotta just get it out there, man.
Okay.
You just can't do dairy.
No.
You can't do dairy out of your house. That's a refrigerated product.
I'd thought about doing a granola business before.
Yeah.
Because I like making granola.
We make our own granola here.
Do you really? It's really easy and really good.
Yeah, man.
All
it's
right,
super
I'm
easy.
Definitely gonna have
noted.
to come.
Sweet. We do this thing. It's called so Hannah, our general manager, it's her granola recipe. So we call it a Hannah banana. It's a toasted bagel with like Nutella cream cheese and bananas and like honey and cinnamon, and then a bunch of her granola on there too. So it's
that's cool.
Crunchy.
Man.
It's super good.
Nice.
Super, man. Seriously, it's really good. That's what I'm saying. Like the food is like very good. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're like sick of bagels?" And I'm like, "I'm not."
It's still fun.
They taste
You
really good.
just keep on making different variations.
Yeah, man. I just have like a different bagel that day. It's fine.
Because you've got your base. You've got your bread base of what your bagel basically is, and then you just like throw stuff on it or throw other things inside of it.
So it's all sourdough, right? So we just have these giant tubs of starter. I'll take you back there and show you the starter tubs. And it's all the same recipe, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a separate tub for the rosemary bagels,
of course,
the blueberry bagels, and the chocolate chip bagels, because that's like in the dough.
Yeah.
And then if we're gonna do like a funky one, like a jalapeno, that'll be separate too. But then everything else, just the big giant tubs of plain dough. And we add the seeds on after they come out of the boilers, or throw the cheese on after they come out of the boilers, and it's just like whatever.
Do you feel super lucky that you were doing sourdough bagels since yeast was non-existent at the beginning of the pandemic? Yeah,
so it was all of this is like a right place, right time.
Yeah, like
sort of
you did you chose a random business to attempt, and it was the perfect
model. Of everything.
It was the perfect storm for you.
So we lived in East Nashville before we moved to Crieve Hall. And there was a place called Bagel Face.
Yes.
And it's gone now, which is super sad. That's where we went to get our bagels. And we moved here, we're driving down Trousdale every day, and it's like there's nothing in this mall. Mm-mm. And then Yogi moved in, and Yogi was really cool, and everyone's loving Yogi. But still, everyone's like, there's really nothing around. Like, if you want to get coffee, you have to drive a mile or two away. You can't, there's nothing nearby. And then obviously for bagels, like proper bagels, like on the other side of the city. And that was it. And that was like it. And so then I was doing sourdough as a hobby for like a couple of years, sort of prior to the pandemic, because I was very trendy.
Yeah, you're pretty cool. That's really what we're picking up on
trendy,
this.
bro, obviously. Yeah. Just like babies and sourdough. So
Yeah,
the coolest,
pandemic.
trendiest
Welcome
guy.
to your mid-30s.
Yeah, exactly. In my mid-30s, rocking it. But so I was doing it, and then like doing all kinds of breads and focaccia and bagels and English muffins, just like whatever I like once a week type of bake, like a small little starter. And then like the bagels were a hit, and the reality of it is like you can bake 24 bagels in a home oven, and it takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you can only bake one loaf of sourdough in that same amount of time. So if I wanted to make any money, it really had to be bagels.
Yeah.
You had to maximize your oven space.
Yeah, it was really maximizing the oven space. So that was really the main decision maker. And then it was like, okay, well, like I'm maximizing the oven space. I forgot, like, oh my gosh, there's no bagels nearby. Like, oh, sweet, cool, look at me go. Like, super intentional, yay.
Yeah, that's just what I meant.
Did that right on purpose. Yep, rocked it.
Here's a very specific cooking question. How did you scale your sourdough starter from a tiny guy to being able to do like 500 bagels at once? Was that like a lot of trial and error, or do you just start throwing
Actually,
stuff
no.
in?
It
was it pretty easy?
It was just like slow and steady.
Okay,
so
cool.
like the first day out of the home kitchen, it was like 24 bagels, which was like the most I'd ever made, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day was like 72, and then it was really like 100 bagels a day, indefinitely, and then it like kind of was like whatever we wanted to make. So like my wife texted me when she was at work. It was like a Friday afternoon. She was like, "There's 300 bagels for tomorrow," and I was like, "Oh no, man!" So I had to bake from like midnight to 9 a.m. Right? So it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then our babysitter came that day, and Lizzie and I both had to do 2 hours of deliveries to get it all done that day.
Oh my
so then after that, we capped it at like 150 a day, was sort of the max. So like, it was just like I went to Publix and bought like a bigger glass container and put my starter in there, and I fed it like 2 extra cups of flour that day, so it was like a little bigger. And then I eventually bought like this big tub on wheels that I'd wheel into my laundry room and then wheel out.
Oh my
gosh! And I'd dump that out like every day. So that was like full, and that was probably like, 20 pounds of starter.
That's insane.
To be a kid and to see all that stuff, I bet had to be.
Yeah, my son was like, "What is
Did
going on?"
your house just smell like vinegar, like at all times?
So luckily, no.
Okay.
With the lid on it, it
Okay.
didn't smell, which is great. I mean, I'll show you back there. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take the lid off and you'll tell it the smell. Like,
No,
right
it's a
away.
very distinct. Sourdough is a very distinct.
With the
smell.
lid on, you really, it's not so bad.
Okay, good.
And then like the actual bagel baking smell kind of overpowers everything.
Yeah.
Like our neighbors would be like, "Oh, we can smell the smell of the bagels."
You're like, sorry?
Yeah, like, this is weird. I know. I'm super sorry. Like, this is so weird.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
That is fun.
Well, something that I hope that Ada can do when she's older is work for me in the landscape industry. Is that something that you are hoping
Sometimes.
for your kids, or you're like, no, let's try to go a different path?
Yeah, so definitely both is
Yeah.
a great way of saying it. Like, if someone came to me tomorrow and they were like, "Look, bro, I'm going to cut you like a check you've never imagined for your business. And I want, all the intellectual property and the recipes and blah, blah, and you'll never have to work again." I would be like, "Yeah, sure, done, sweet. That sounds amazing." Like, I'm not in this camp where it's like, I will never sell. I am going to like do this until I die and hand it off to my kids. Like I sort of said throughout this, is like, I'm not ever going to sort of hitch my wagon to one direction or another, like in my entire life, right?
Yeah.
Like now, obviously, like I'm a dad, things are different, but certainly like that sort of question is something I'm not gonna be able to answer until like, my kid is
Until it
20 and he's running it, right? Then I'll know that he took it over, right? So like until then, every day is open ended, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, "Daddy, the day I turned 14, I'm working at the bagel shop." And I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, like that's awesome. Cool, man.
That
like
means
I love that.
my bagel business is still open in like 8 years from now. So
Exactly. I was like, yeah, that means we've done something right,
Yeah,
which
so
is so
that's pretty
cool. But he wants to like he's got his own little drink. He like sold lemonade and made like $50 one time, and he used it to buy Settlers of Catan, which he's very proud of himself for. I know. I was like, "You're so cool, man. You're awesome." So he's like always trying to like finagle little dollars out of things. Like I would love for him to be able to do that one day, but also like I'd love to not have like the pressures and the a.m.
Yeah,
You're aware of the stress that comes with owning a bagel shop.
Yeah,
And
man.
if you're like, oh, if my son could not have to deal with that level of stress and do something he enjoys, I'd like that for him.
Exactly. I'd like that for him.
I would like
That's
that
all.
for him.
That's all. I like it for him.
How do you
man.
feel like I just had my third kid like a year ago. I feel like the change from 2 to 3 is a very big change.
Yeah.
And I was not running a small business. How do you
Yeah.
feel like the change from 2 to 3 has been with running a small business?
It's basically just like, okay, like from 3 a.m. until 9 p.m., you just go. You just go. And you don't complain.
Yeah.
You just don't stop moving until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And then at 9 p.m., if like a kid is still awake or like the house is still messy, like then you can be upset.
Yeah,
And
I got you.
like that's your moment to just like huff and puff and curse and like and just be like, I can't believe it's not done yet.
Yeah.
Like blah blah. Like, I can't believe this kid's not asleep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But before then, it's like you just motor on until 9 p.m. So that's what I do every day, 3 to 9. No problem. It's great.
If our kids are still awake at 8:30, I'm like,
good
no, you
to
should be asleep.
sleep.
Everyone should be asleep. What are you going to do instead? I'm going to watch stupid TV with your mom. And you're
Exactly. Like,
ruining
don't you
that.
know I'm gonna go do nothing for a minute?
Yeah, I just want to not be responsible for something or ask your mom how her day was. So
Yeah, I just want to talk to your mom for a
Just
sec. I'm
for
just
at
talking
least
to
a
your
little
mom,
bit.
man. I love her too.
without
Like,
you listening and then asking 20 questions about everything I just said, because I said, how was your day? Why would you ask mom about how her day was? Because I'm
'cause I
trying
love
to
her.
care about
And
her.
I want to know how
I
her
don't-
day was, man.
Well, you don't
Leave
like
me
when
alone.
I know you don't like when I ask about your day, but I should be.
Yeah. My son's already such a teenager about that too.
Is he
He's like,
really?
oh, nothing.
Yeah. What did you do at school today? Stuff.
Like, dude, you're 6, man.
Like, how
you're
do
supposed
you-
to like tell me everything still.
So those are the conversations that I have to look forward to.
Yes.
Very
she
much
can
so.
actually talk.
It
Very
is.
much so.
Yep. There's
Very
a
much
gap
so.
where like your kids still need your approval, and then they're just like, man, I guess I need it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And I think it maybe in their 30s it comes back that they need your approval. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, like I have a great relationship with my parents now,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, see, we told you so." I'm like, "Well, no, that's not it. I'm
Well,
not going to give you that credit. I'm not going to give you that credit."
Not
don't
gonna
get
do
the
that
credit.
ever. Yeah.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So
So
we've
for you-
we're keeping you up past your bedtime. So.
Yeah.
It's past my bedtime.
I'll be here 6 hours from now.
Oh man.
Thanks
Can-
for coming on,
Yeah.
man. We really appreciate it. This is an awesome setup you got.
Sweet, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
and-
for having me.
Yeah,
That's
thanks
great.
for letting us come over, especially since, you turn into a pumpkin in about 35 seconds. So,
Yeah, I was going to say 3 to 9, man. That's my time.
Man,
We're
you
done.
literally just said it. So thank you so much for letting us be here. We really like what you're doing.
So everybody here in Nashville, come to Crieve Hall Bagel.
Please.
That's right.
Please come.
Yes, and
That'd
we're
be
gonna
great.
we're gonna go look at some sourdough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help feed my
Yes.
children.
Let's do
It's
it.
Great.
We really hope you enjoyed that episode. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Nashville Dads. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.